sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so we're going to do a deep dive into Man City versus Chelsea. The match on January 25th, 2025.
Right.
You're a football fan, and you wanted the inside scoop on this one, right?
Yes.
We've got a great news article that breaks it all down.
Sounds good.
So let's get tactical.
Well, what's really interesting here is that this wasn't just another match day.
Right.
It was match day 23 at Etihad Stadium.
Okay.
Both teams were hungry for points to climb that Premier League table. Man City, the reigning champions,
Right.
hadn't been playing as consistently as expected.
Yeah, and going up against a strong Chelsea side.
Exactly.
Must have been a lot of pressure on them.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm already picturing the tension at Etihad.
And then, boom, 3 minutes in,
Whoa.
Chelsea's Noni Madueke scores.
Whoa.
Talk about an unexpected start.
That's a bold move right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Do you think Chelsea went in with that aggressive strategy from the start? Or was it a lucky break?
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but it definitely put Man City on the back foot early on.
Okay.
They seem to be struggling to find their rhythm in that first half.
Right.
Chelsea's defense was solid, and Man City was playing catch-up. This is where it gets interesting if you're looking at Man City's form.
So even though they're the champs, they're not invincible?
Right.
What happened next? Did they just roll over?
Not quite.
Okay.
Just before halftime, Josko Gvardiol managed to score an equalizer for Man City,
All right.
a crucial goal to bring them level going into the break.
Okay, so halftime score 1-1.
Yes.
Did that goal shift the energy at all?
It definitely seemed to give Man City a much-needed boost.
Okay.
They came out in the second half looking more determined.
Determine how? Did their strategy change?
Yeah.
Or was it just a mental shift?
Think about it.
Okay.
Chelsea's early lead forced Man City to adapt. They had to step up their game.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to see their championship qualities shining through.
Okay. I'm all ears. Tell me more.
The real turning point came in the 68th minute.
Okay.
Erling Haaland,
Of course.
who else scores a brilliant goal?
Uh-huh.
He chipped it right over Chelsea goalkeeper Robert Sanchez,
Yeah.
who was caught out of position.
All right.
Now, this isn't just individual brilliance.
Right.
It's Man City's increased pressure in Chelsea's half.
Okay.
That likely led to Sanchez being out of position in the first place.
So you're saying Haaland's goal wasn't just about his skill,
Exactly.
but also about Man City's tactical response to being down a goal.
Exactly.
That's a level of analysis I need.
This is where you see how a team's form can really play out on the field.
All right, I'm hooked. Give me the play-by-play.
Okay.
What happened after Haaland's goal?
Well, you can imagine the tension at Etihad
Okay.
with Man City finally in the lead,
Right.
but they weren't done yet.
Oh, no.
In the 87th minute, Phil Foden scores a fantastic goal.
Wow.
Assisted by, you guessed it,
Haaland?
Erling Haaland.
Wow.
That pretty much sealed the deal for Man City.
3-1 final score.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good for Man City,
Yeah,
especially after that early scare.
for sure.
But before we go any further,
Okay.
let's make sure we're both on the same page.
Right.
You mentioned leapfrogging earlier.
Yes.
For anyone who's not a diehard Premier League fan,
Right.
what does that actually mean?
Good point.
Yeah.
In this case, it means that with this win, Man City moved up to 4th position in the league standings,
Okay.
overtaking Newcastle based on goal difference.
Goal difference.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this win was a big deal for their position in the league.
Yes. Very important.
Did any of the players or coaches have anything interesting to say about the match afterward?
Yes. Haaland actually gave a really insightful post-match interview.
Oh, wow.
He was clearly happy with the win,
Yeah.
but he especially emphasized how the team kept pushing even after that rough start.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think he was trying to convey with that message?
I think it speaks to the mental resilience of this team. Remember, they haven't been in top form lately,
Right.
but this match showed they can handle setbacks and come back strong.
So even though they're the champions,
Yeah.
they're still learning and growing as a team.
Exactly. This match could be a turning point for them.
Yep.
It shows they have the grit and determination to overcome challenges and fight for those crucial points.
That makes me think about Chelsea's strategy.
Yeah.
It worked at first, but then fizzled out.
Right.
Was their initial game plan just not sustainable for a full 90 minutes?
It's possible scoring early like that can sometimes backfire,
Yeah.
It might have given them a sense of false security,
Right.
leading them to sit back and defend instead of maintaining that offensive pressure.
And Man City, they seem to capitalize on that shift in momentum.
Exactly.
But they had some tough matches coming up, right?
Oh, yeah.
This win must have been a huge confidence booster for them going into those games.
Absolutely. They were slated to play against Newcastle, Arsenal, and Liverpool,
Whoa.
all top contenders in the league. Those are the kind of matches that truly test a team's mettle.
So you're saying this Chelsea match was almost like a warm-up for those big showdowns.
Exactly.
It gave them a chance to find their rhythm and rediscover their winning mentality?
Precisely. And let's not forget Haaland's contribution.
Right.
18 goals in the season at that point.
Oh, my goodness. He's a goal-scoring machine.
He's incredible, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious about Phil Foden.
Yes.
He scored that beautiful final goal, the one that really solidified the win.
Right.
What's his story?
Yeah.
Is he a rising star on the team?
Absolutely. Foden is an incredibly talented young player.
Okay.
He's got amazing technical skills, and his finishing is clinical.
Nice.
Keep an eye on him.
Okay.
He's definitely one to watch in the future.
Okay. I'm adding him to my list of players to follow.
Good.
But back to Man City as a whole.
Yeah.
How did they end up in 4th position if they're the reigning champions?
Right?
Shouldn't they be at the top? That's a great question. It highlights just how competitive the Premier League is.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Man City hadn't been as consistent this season.
Mm.
They'd had some surprising losses, which had dropped them down the table.
So this win against Chelsea wasn't just about beating a rival. It was about clawing their way back up the rankings.
For sure.
It makes the victory even sweeter, don't you think?
Definitely adds another layer to it.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to your initial request for this deep dive.
Right.
You wanted to know how this match played out and what it says about Man City's form, right?
Spot on. I'm starting to see the bigger picture now.
Good.
So based on everything we've discussed, is it safe to say that Man City is back on track? Are they back in championship form?
It's tempting to say yes.
Yeah.
Especially after such a convincing win.
Right.
But we have to remember this was just one match.
Right.
The real test will be those upcoming fixtures against Newcastle, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
Okay.
How they perform in those matches will be far more telling.
Okay, I see your point. It's
Yeah.
like a mini tournament within the season.
It is.
How do you think those matches will play out?
And
Making predictions.
I'm not one for making predictions.
Okay.
But I can tell you what to watch for.
Okay.
First, keep an eye on Man City's defense.
Right.
Their attack is rarely in question,
Right.
but their defense has been a bit shaky at times this season.
Okay.
If they can tighten things up at the back,
Yeah.
they'll be a force to be reckoned with.
Makes sense. So solid defense is key.
Yes.
What else should we be paying attention to?
Midfield control.
Okay.
Man City has some world-class midfielders.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan.
Right.
Can they dictate the tempo, control possession, and create those scoring opportunities against top-level opposition?
Okay.
That's going to be crucial.
So it's not just about stopping the other team from scoring.
Yes.
It's about controlling the game as a whole.
Yes.
I'm getting a crash course in football strategy here.
And lastly, you want to watch their mental resilience.
Okay.
Can they stay composed under pressure?
Right.
These upcoming matches are going to be intense high-stakes battles.
For sure.
The team that keeps their cool will have a huge advantage.
Mental toughness. Got it.
Yeah.
So if Man City can bring their A game, defensively control the midfield, and stay focused under pressure,
Right.
they'll have a good shot at proving they're back in championship form.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd add to that assessment?
I think that sums it up nicely. But, you know, it's not just about Man City.
Okay.
This match against Chelsea also highlighted a bigger trend in the Premier League.
Intrigued. Tell me more.
Remember how surprised we were that Chelsea came out so strong at the beginning?
Yes.
Well, it's not an isolated incident.
Okay.
The Premier League is becoming increasingly competitive.
Mm-hmm.
The so-called smaller teams are closing the gap on the giants, like Man City and Liverpool.
Wow, that's a fascinating observation.
Yeah.
What do you think is driving this shift?
There are a few factors at play. One is the increased financial parity in the league.
Right.
Financial fair play regulations have helped to level the playing field in terms of spending power.
Right.
This means smaller teams can attract better players and improve their squads.
So the resources are becoming more evenly distributed?
Exactly.
What else is contributing to this change?
Tactical evolution.
Okay.
Teams are getting more sophisticated in their approach.
Yeah.
Even smaller clubs.
Okay.
They're hiring top-notch coaches and analysts who can develop strategies to challenge the bigger teams.
So it's not just about having star players anymore. It's about outsmarting your opponent.
Right.
I like it.
And finally, there's a psychological factor.
Okay.
The smaller teams are becoming less intimidated by the big names.
Right.
They're going into these matches believing they can compete and win.
Yeah.
That shift in mentality can make all the difference.
You're right that confidence can be a game changer.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is even though Man City won this match, it also revealed a potential power shift happening in the Premier League.
Exactly. And that makes the league even more unpredictable and exciting to watch.
I agree. It's not just about who wins or loses, but how the game is evolving.
Right.
It makes you wonder, what does this mean for the future of the Premier League?
That's a great question to ponder. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
let's make sure we've covered all the key points from the article about this specific match.
Okay.
We've talked about the goals, the key players, Man City's climbing the table, Haaland's comments after the match, and those challenging fixtures coming up.
Right.
Anything else we need to touch on?
I think we've done a pretty thorough analysis.
Okay.
We've gone beyond the surface and really dug into the details.
Good.
What I'm taking away from this deep dive is that even a seemingly straightforward win can reveal a lot about a team's form,
Yeah.
the dynamics of the league, and the future of the game itself.
Well said. And I'm sure you, our listener, are now equipped with a deeper understanding of not just what happened in this particular match,
Right.
but also what it might signal for the Premier League moving forward.
You always leave me with a lot to think about.
But before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your final takeaway.
Yeah.
That one thought-provoking nugget that will stay with our listener long after they finish this episode.
Right. Lay it on me.
All right, here it is.
Okay.
If this trend of increasing competitiveness continues,
Yeah.
what does it mean for the future of the Premier League?
Wow.
Could we see a new era where the title is no longer a foregone conclusion,
Right.
but a genuine contest between multiple teams?
Wow. That's a big question.
Yeah?
It makes me wonder, what would that mean for the global appeal and excitement of the league?
It's something worth considering.
Right.
And who knows, maybe we'll have a surprise champion this season.
Nah, that would be a real shakeup.
Yeah.
All right. It's been a fantastic deep dive into this Man City versus Chelsea match.
It has been.
We've analyzed the key moments, discussed the performances of the star players, and explored the broader implications of this result for the Premier League.
We've gone from the play-by-play to the bigger picture.
Right.
And hopefully you, our listener, now have a clearer understanding of what it all means.
We've given you the insights and the context. Now it's up to you to keep watching, keep learning, and keep enjoying the beautiful game.
Until next time.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of.